I'm Danielle, and welcome to this enchanted house. Today, I have another Cottagecore book to review. I'm going to review Escape Into Cottagecore by Ramona Jones. So, Ramona is a photographer and Instagram influencer, and I do follow her on Instagram, and so this is one of the books that's actually, well, Amazon and Google did its best to recommend it to me. I already kind of knew about it and was excited for it to come out. And I'm gonna stay off the front right off the bat. I was not disappointed. This is a good book. So this is Escape Into Cottagecore. Embrace cozy countryside comfort in your everyday. And just we'll start with the covers. Really cute, really aesthetic. You know, it has the Cottagecore aesthetic down. And I mean, I even love the end papers. Like, that's such a great little detail. So this book is a very well-written book. This is Ramona's words are great. She has just sort of this very straightforward but kind of yet poetic way about talking about things, and it makes the whole book feel really accessible but pleasant to read. She's divided the book up into lots of different sections, but they're sort of general categories. And the one she actually starts off with after her introduction is mindfulness, which for me was like a great thing, because when we talk about aesthetic, I always point out that aesthetic has like a message and meaning behind it. It's a visual language to convey something that's a little more intangible. And for Cottagecore, a lot of that is around slowing down and taking time to experience things and living a slower way of life, and to have mindfulness be the beginning. Chef's kiss, that's sort of a great place to start if you're into Cottagecore, is to just take time and slow down, and I really appreciate that's where she started with. Each of the chapters beyond that are just like a great little introduction to, like, you know, here's some ideas about how you can make your home Cottagecore. Here's some ideas about how to get started in gardening. Here's some ideas about how to make your Cottagecore more fashion. And they're great. I still stand by the idea that if you're into gardening, if you're into herbs, if you're into any of these things, it's a really great idea to get a book just on that topic. But she does a really great job of just introducing the concepts, and even she herself says, you know, this is a place to start. You can go out and do more research on these things. This is, you know, this is I'm throwing in some personal tips. Also, for many of her sections, she also includes a section on photography and how to photograph things. And being into aesthetic does not necessarily mean you have to be an influencer and share things on Instagram. I love it when people do, because I love to see what other people are doing, and I love to get inspiration from other people, and that's why I share what I do, as I hope, you know, maybe I have an idea that make other people's lives better. That'd be great. And that's what she's done here. She has taken her Instagram and put it kind of into a book form. A lot of the photographs in this book are hers, and they're gorgeous. Like one of my favorites is just one of the very first ones is just this beautiful little cottage. Feels so Cottagecore, and it's great. Yeah, the photography is great. The chapters are great. She does give like all the little warnings that I would give. Like, you know, if she has a chapter on foraging, and she says, you need to have permission to be there, and you need to learn what plants are safe and what are not. And here she gives some examples of ones that are, but you need to go. I would say after that, you need to go look at what those plants actually look like. Or she talks about, when she talks about essential oils, she talks about they need to be diluted and they're not for internal use. And the book does have a disclaimer that, you know, this is not medical advice. This is a wonderful, wonderful book. I do have some criticisms. I always, you know, nobody's perfect. A lot of it is I maybe kind of wanted a little more. So just a couple things. Well, I really appreciate her chapter on fashion. She didn't talk really about size inclusivity and how when you're plus size, you have to find sometimes different methods and different things. Like secondhand stores do not have usually great plus size sections if they have one at all. It depends on the store. And it's just availability of fashion, and it's something that as a plus size person I've had to deal with. But it's nothing that against her, that maybe that's just something she didn't think to include, and otherwise the book is so inclusive. And she talks about how something that really came out of the LGBTQ. This I always have trouble say like in my mind I know what it is, but I just have trouble saying the letters. But the gay and lesbian and bi and trans and queer, just the queer community. That Cottage Core really came out of that community. So, and how Cottage Cores should be accessible for everyone. And see, I tried to go talk about criticisms. I already went back to a positive. I have been trying recipes from. Try to do more when I do books. Try recipes from. I tried her recipe for slow gin fizz, and it just wasn't to my taste. Like, I'm a huge slow gin fizz fan. It just was not my quite proportions. But it might be your proportions. It might be because I was using a certain type of sloe gin. I use Plymouth sloe gin, which has a little tartar than a lot of sloe gins, which have a lot more sugar in them. So that might have been the case. But she does have some recipes in there and some cooking. But once again, this is not a recipe book. This is not a cooking book. But she talks about how to photograph your food, which I'm hoping, if you've been on my Instagram, I have drink night with my husband, and I'm hoping to use some of her tips to help elevate some of those photos a little bit too. So if I was going to recommend a Cottage Core book, this is the Cottage Core book. Yeah, this is the one. You know what? I do recommend this. I recommend this as if you want a book on Cottage Core, like actual Cottage Core, as opposed to like when I talked about Tasha Tudor, who I call the Cottage Core Queen, but she was doing that before Cottage Core's a word. If you want something that's dealing with modern Cottage Core in its current form, this is the book. The book is Escape Into Cottagecore by Ramona Jones. I will put a link to her Instagram below if you want to check out her Instagram, because she has some really great, just inspirational photos. Highly recommend. Not a must-have. I'm not going to say, oh my god, you're not Cottagecore if you don't have this book. I really enjoyed it. It's beautiful to look at. Very well done. Very well written. Very accessible if you're just if you're new to this kind of stuff, or you're just kind of getting interested in this kind of stuff. Also, very aesthetic, very beautiful. It's gonna look great on my bookshelf. So, yeah. Thank you, Ms. Ramona Jones. This is probably my favorite Cottage Core book I've come across. So, have you guys read this book? What do you guys think? Any other Cottage Core books you want me to review? I would love to go through and take a look at them. Leave me comments below. If you like this video, please give it a like, and please check out some of my other videos. I've reviewed a lot of books that have to do with Cottage Core or Cottage Core related things. There's even a playlist for them now. If you like my videos, please subscribe, and you can stay up to date with the latest and the greatest. I would love to connect with you guys on social media. I have links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter below, as well as my Patreon. I hope you guys have an enchanted day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!